Hey guys, Scott here again, doing a new video for you today, basically beer dissection. What I have today is from Bluepoint Brewery Imperial Sunshine. Okay, they have it advertised as I guess an Imperial IPA. This thing is coming in at a whopping 9.6% alcohol. Bluepoint Brewery, some of you may or may not be familiar with. Originated out of here at Patchogue on Long Island. It was a smaller, micro brewery for many years, and then several years ago was bought out by Budweiser, AB InBev, and they expanded the old Briarcliff College building into a large tap room. So there's been some positive things. They've come out with a lot more styles of beer since the takeover. I guess, as I've said, sometimes that's not a bad thing because they keep a lot of the brewers. They still producing great beer, but now they have a bigger cash flow to be able to experiment on some beers. So we got Imperial Sunshine, blonde ale with orange and natural flavors, 9.6 alcohol. So I'm guessing maybe a hybrid between like an IPA and a blonde ale, and it looks like maybe they've added some orange to it. So, all right, so let's open this thing up. Okay, no history on styles here today for this one. Okay. So again, with most of my beers, I kind of go with our regular tulip glass, oversized snifter. You can probably use a Willie Becker glass, things like that too. Okay. I don't recall ever having this one. But again, it's almost intimidating looking at something 9-point-something% alcohol. That's always a pet peeve of mine. Sometimes there's always this competition on who has the higher alcohol percentage, and it doesn't really mean too much to me. So what do we got here? We got a nice, light beige, white, frothy head, kind of like a gold, pretty clear beer. Really not any chill haze to speak of. Let's take a whiff of this. Yeah, well, definitely orange. This is like definitely orange. Mandarin is an understatement here. Blonde ale with orange. So I guess a natural flavor. So I'm sure they're sweetening it with something because you kind of get hit immediately with orange. Almost if I had, got orange Jolly Rancher, even if they make that, but or even just an orange candy. I wouldn't even say orange juice. It actually it smells sweet, even though obviously, sweetness is not an aroma. Okay, really it's almost hard to get past the orange to smell any type of malt profile on this. Maybe a little white bread, light toast, but that's about it. You're just kind of getting hit with this almost a medicinal type of orange, artificial. I brewed with, home brewed with some artificial flavorings in the past, and I wasn't a big fan of it. Okay. Maybe a little peach also on the nose. Nothing spicy, herbal, floral as far as hop aroma. Again, it's hard to get past the orange on this. Okay, so let's take a sip. Definitely medium to high carbonation. It's the first thing I noticed when I was taking it in. It's definitely sweet. Maybe even on the verge of being too cloying here for me. I think that dryness taste kind of was more for the carbonic bite because it is pretty highly carbonated. It's definitely not dry like a Belgian style. But again, you're still getting blasted with maybe like a light lemon, orange, citrus, which is not horrible, but doesn't really, it tastes artificial. It doesn't, I don't expect necessarily the brewery to be putting fresh fruit in like a secondary fermenter all the time, but this is definitely, and I don't know what they're using, if they're using, but whatever fruit juice or puree or whatever, it's definitely I think definitely heightened with some type of, I'm suspicious of some type of extract. And if it isn't, if I'm incorrect, it's definitely smells, and I perceive it that way at least. You kind of get this, even on the aftertaste, kind of this creamy, I don't want to say sludgy, but filmy type of sensation on your tongue. Listen, if you like orange beers, this isn't so bad, but it's very sweet. That may be why the alcohol percentage is up. So there's definitely a lot of residual sugars in it. The carbonation is high, so you initially think that you're getting like a dry beer, but as it sits in your mouth, you kind of get that filmy, sugary orange. And then as I sit here, there's not a ton of bitterness here. And then when you do a kind of retronasal thing, when you swallow and you kind of exhale out, you kind of get you get hit with the orange again, the mandarin on there. But again, it's not like, you've back sweetened, Gose or Berliner Weiss or something like that. There's some warmth here, alcoholic warmth. I mean, we are at 9.6. As I've said in my videos, I kind of perceive it. Anything over 7.5, I start getting that warmth. Even as I sit here, you kind of get a little bit on the back of my palate, a little bit of that alcohol warmth. As the orange, that sugary orange coated, it's almost like those candies you get at some of those, the sugar coated orange candies that you eat. Sometimes even high-end candy stores will sell them. You kind of get that type of orange taste to it. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be able to handle too many of these, and not just because they're 9.6 alcohol. It's a little too cloying for my taste. If you really like sweet beers with a lot of residual sugar, you may like this, especially with orange. This is one that I think you sit with, and when you're done, you just want to kind of move on to something that's not a lot drier than this. But look, it's a pretty beer. That gold, pretty clear, not really any chill haze to it. The head is actually still persisting a little bit from when I poured it. It's got pretty good carbonation to it. I just can't get past the overwhelming medicinal candy, artificial orange flavor I get in it. If someone that works for them and is familiar with their brewing process, if they're actually using real orange, maybe if they're using real orange, maybe it's like real orange juice that's sweetened or something, but and maybe it was back sweetened after the brew, because if you added that after the boil, the alcohol percentage would be higher, and the yeast would eat right through that sugar, and it would be drier. This is not really dry. I mean, the carbonic bite, and it gives you that sensation that maybe it's going to be a dry beer, but as it's sitting in your mouth, it's kind of like this, again, this filmy taste I get in my mouth. And then the mandarin fades away. You're just kind of left with this, I don't know, type of feeling. So listen, again, I try to put these beers in perspective. You have this at someone's house. You're not going to push it away. It's not like you're going to be, you have spoiled milk or spoiled meat or whatever, but it's very cloying. It's very sweet. Not one of my favorites. But again, if that sugary, sweet orange beer is your type of thing, then I would say go with it. But, Bluepoint, Imperial Sunshine, Bluepoint puts out a lot of good beers. So even though this is not my favorite one of theirs, I wouldn't shy away from the brewery. I just, if what I just described to you is not up your alley, and like myself, then this probably wouldn't be something that you would want to consume too much. But I'm sure there are different opinions on that. But Bluepoint in general, even though now it's kind of fallen under the realm of macro, I would check out a lot of their beers. I've had a lot of their beers over the years. especially when they were smaller. And they do produce quality beer. I'm just not a huge fan of. All right, guys. Hopefully this beer dissection here worked for you, and I will see you on the next one. All right, have a great day. Take care.